I still remember the night that changed everything. The night I said yes to the man of my dreams. Was the night I discovered he had nothing left, he was bankrupt. My name is Emily Carter, I'm 27 years old and I live in Austin, Texas. I'm the kind of woman who believed in fairy tales. The kind who thought love would conquer everything. And when Ryan, my fiancé, got down on one knee, I truly believed my life was finally falling into place. But then reality slapped me harder than I could imagine. Just hours after our engagement party, I overheard him on the phone. His voice was panicked, almost desperate. "No. I told you I'll figure it out. Her family has money. Just give me time." First I thought I misheard. But then I found the stack of letters hidden in his drawer. Foreclosure notices, loan demands, everything screaming the same truth. He wasn't the successful businessman he pretended to be. He was drowning in debt. And worst of all, I realized he was planning to use me as his lifeboat. I confronted him that night, my hands shaking. "Ryan, tell me it isn't true. Tell me you didn't lie to me." He didn't even deny it. His silence was louder than any confession. That was the moment I knew my perfect love story had shattered. So instead of walking down the aisle, I walked away. Alone. Broken. And yet little did I know, leaving Ryan wasn't the end of my nightmare. It was only the beginning. I thought that was the worst night of my life, but it was only the beginning. What if the man you trusted with your future had already sold it away? After that night, everything inside me was torn apart. I wanted to believe Ryan still loved me, but how do you love someone who only sees you as a bank account? The next morning my mom came into my room. She sat on the edge of my bed, brushing my hair like she used to when I was a little girl. "Emily, he made mistakes. But men bounce back. Maybe you should stand by him." Her words cut deeper than she realized. Support him? After he lied to my face, after he planned to use my family's money behind my back? But my mom wasn't the only one pressuring me. Ryan showed up later that day, standing tall in his expensive suit as if nothing had happened. His voice was calm, almost rehearsed. "Emily, listen. I just need your help. A small loan. You love me, don't you? We can get through this together." My hands trembled as I clutched the edge of the table. "A loan, Ryan? Or do you mean the rest of my savings? My parents' trust in me? My future?" He smirked as if I was being dramatic. "Stop making this bigger than it is. This is what couples do, they save each other." But I could feel it. This wasn't about love. It was about control. He wasn't asking. He was demanding. And when I looked into my mom's pleading eyes, I realized I was being cornered from every side. If I stayed, I'd lose myself. If I left, I'd lose everything else. That's when the fear hit me. Maybe I couldn't escape him. But destiny had other plans. Because in the moment I thought I was trapped forever, fate pushed me straight into a stranger's arms. I wanted to escape, but fate pushed me straight into a stranger's arms. Would you still marry a man if you knew he only wanted your money? I ran out of the house that evening, tears blurring my vision. I didn't know where I was going. I just knew I had to get away from Ryan's suffocating presence. The sound of his voice still echoed in my head, demanding, manipulating, twisting love into a transaction. My chest felt heavy as if the air itself was too expensive for me to breathe. The night air in Austin was cool, but my skin burned with shame. I wandered into the street, clutching my phone, debating whether to call a friend. But who would understand? Who could I tell that the man I was supposed to marry was secretly bankrupt and worse, had planned to use me as his savior? That's when it happened. A car screeched to a halt just a few feet away from me. A man jumped out, his eyes sharp, his movements urgent. "Hey, are you okay?" he asked, rushing toward me. I froze, startled, wiping at my tears. I'm fine," I whispered, though I clearly wasn't. But before I could move, Ryan appeared behind me, his voice loud and venomous. "Emily, get back here. Stop acting like a child." His hand reached for my wrist, his grip tightening. The stranger didn't hesitate. He stepped between us, his shoulders broad, his stance protective. "Let her go," he said firmly. His tone was steady, not angry, just certain. Ryan's jaw clenched. "This is none of your business." The stranger locked eyes with him. "It is now." For the first time someone stood up for me without asking for anything in return. My heart pounded, half in fear, half in relief. Ryan cursed under his breath and finally backed away, but not without a threat. "You'll regret this, Emily. You'll come crawling back." Then he stormed off into the night. I stood there trembling, caught between fear and gratitude. The stranger extended his hand gently. "My name's Daniel. You look like you need a safe place. I own a cafe down the street. You don't have to trust me, but you don't have to be alone tonight either." Something inside me broke free. Against every warning in my head I nodded. And with that one decision my life took a turn I never saw coming. I thought he was helping me for a moment, but he was about to change my life forever. Sometimes the stranger you run to is the only one willing to fight for you. Daniel's cafe was small, warm, and smelled of fresh coffee and cinnamon. It felt nothing like the cold mansion Ryan had once promised me. The mismatched chairs, the dim fairy lights, the sound of an old record spinning in the corner. It was imperfect, but it felt safe. That night, Daniel poured me a cup of tea instead of asking questions. He didn't pry, he didn't push. He just sat across from me, quietly present. That silence was louder than any comfort I'd felt in weeks. But when the adrenaline faded, the fear came crashing back. I had left Ryan. I had left my home. And with no money in my purse, nowhere to go, I realized how truly alone I was. Daniel must have sensed it. "You don't owe me an explanation," he said softly. "But if you need a place to stay, the storage room upstairs is empty. It's not much, but at least you'll have a roof." I should have said no. He was a stranger. I had no reason to trust him. But something about the calm in his voice made me whisper, "Thank you." The days that followed were a blur. I worked small shifts in the cafe, helping him wipe tables, serve customers, anything to repay his kindness. At night we'd sit and talk. Sometimes about nothing, sometimes about everything. He made me laugh when I thought laughter had left me for good. But Ryan wasn't finished with me. One evening I found a note slipped under the cafe door. In his handwriting. "Come back to me, Emily. If you don't, your father's business will pay the price." My hands shook as I read it. He wasn't just after me anymore, he was dragging my family into his mess. When Daniel saw me crying, I tried to hide the letter, but he gently took it from my hand. His jaw tightened as he read, anger flashing in his eyes. "He's blackmailing you," he said. "This isn't love. It's control." That night Daniel and I walked along the quiet streets. The air was crisp, and for the first time in weeks, I opened up completely, about my dreams, my fears, the weight of Ryan's betrayal. Daniel listened without judgment, his hands tucked into his jacket, his pace steady beside mine. Then came the twist I never expected. As we sat on a park bench, Daniel finally spoke about himself. His voice was calm, but there was pain in it. "Emily, there's something you should know about me. I wasn't always the man you see now. I was once just like Ryan. I lost everything. My business collapsed. I went bankrupt." My heart froze. Bankrupt. The very word I had run away from. I looked at him, betrayal and confusion swirling inside me. How could I trust him when he carried the same scars that had destroyed me? I didn't know whether to trust him, or hate him for the secret he was hiding. How do you love someone who carries the same scars as the man who destroyed you? The very next night my past came crashing into my present. I was closing up the cafe with Daniel when the door swung open with a violent shove. Ryan stormed in, his eyes wild, his voice sharp enough to slice through the silence. "So this is where you've been hiding?" he sneered. "With him? In this dump?" My chest tightened. "Ryan, please, just leave." But he wouldn't. He stepped closer, pointing at Daniel with venom. "You think he's your savior? He's nothing. He's a failure. Ask him about his bankruptcy, Emily. He's no different from me." Daniel didn't flinch. He calmly set down the cup he was holding and stepped forward, placing himself between Ryan and me. "The difference," he said firmly, "is that I never lied to her. I own my mistakes. I rebuilt myself. You're still hiding behind other people's money." Ryan's face turned red, his mask of charm finally cracking. He lunged toward Daniel, but Daniel stood his ground, unshaken. For the first time I saw what true strength looked like. Not wealth, not power, but honesty. Then the truth I had dreaded spilled out. Daniel turned to me, his voice steady. Yes, Emily. I went bankrupt. I lost everything. But I won't ever use you to fix me. I'd rather have nothing and tell you the truth, than have everything and lie to you. My heart raced as both men's eyes locked on me. This was my moment. The fiancé who once promised me the world, or the stranger who offered me nothing but truth. The one word. I knew my life would never be the same again. Sometimes the hardest choice is between the man you loved and the man who truly loves you. The cafe was silent. My heart pounded so loudly it drowned out everything else. Both men waited for my answer, but deep inside, I already knew it. I looked at Ryan, the man I once thought I'd spend forever with. His love had been nothing more than a cage built from lies and greed. Then I looked at Daniel, broken once, yes, but honest, rebuilding himself one step at a time. My voice trembled, but it was clear. Ryan, we're done. You can take your lies, your debts, your manipulation, and leave my life forever. For a moment he just stared, stunned that I finally chose myself. Then his face twisted with rage. You'll regret this, Emily, he shouted before storming out, slamming the door so hard the windows rattled. The second he was gone, my knees gave out. Daniel caught me, steady and warm, holding me like I was the only fragile thing in the world. For the first time in months I felt safe. Tears filled my eyes as I whispered, I don't care about your past, Daniel. I only care about the man you are now. He smiled, his voice low and certain. And I'll spend every day proving you made the right choice. That night I realized the truth. Only love built on honesty can give you the strength to fight for yourself. But just when I thought it was over, fate reminded me my story wasn't finished. The next morning a letter arrived at my parents' house. Ryan had filed a lawsuit against my family, determined to drag us down with him. I thought my story ended here, but destiny had another storm waiting. Because when you walk away from a liar, sometimes he follows you into your future.